What's happening, my Jacked family? Coach Scott here, jackedafter40.com. In today's video, we're going to talk about why men over 40 should sleep more for fat loss, for muscle building, for your hormone health, for your overall health, for your memory, for your productivity, your focus, and everything in between. I have been drilling home year after year here on this Jacked After 40 Life channel the importance of getting an adequate amount of sleep. And today I'm going to be sharing some insights on a recent book that I read, Why We Sleep. This was an eye-opening book. I highly recommend you read it. Once you read this, I guarantee you will not look at sleep the same ever again. I mean, sleep was a top priority for me before. This book has kicked it way up a notch where there is no way in hell I am going to sacrifice sleep for anything out there. And towards the end of the video, I'll be sharing some tips on how you can improve your sleep, the duration, and the quality. But right now, I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below. How many hours of sleep do you typically get per night? And is it consistent each and every night? Now, first off, an adequate amount of sleep is getting at least 7 hours of sleep each and every night. And that's not 7 hours in bed. That's actually 7 hours of sleeping. So at least giving yourself the opportunity to sleep 7 hours. When it comes to men over 40 and sleep, the most common topic you see discussed is your hormone health, your testosterone levels. And when you're not getting an adequate amount of sleep, your testosterone levels are going to lower so much so that it will age you by 10 to 15 years, meaning your testosterone levels will be that of a man that is 10 to 15 years older than you. So if I wasn't getting an adequate amount of sleep each and every night, I'm 45 years old right now, I'd have the testosterone levels of a 55-year-old, maybe a 60-year-old. So that could affect my libido, my mental clarity, my strength, my muscle gains, my fat loss potential. It's going to affect so many different aspects of my life. When you're not getting an adequate amount of sleep, it's going to make your efforts of getting shredded after 40 so much harder. You're going to have so many different factors working against you. Number one is that when you're in a caloric deficit and you're sleep deprived, your body is more likely to use your muscle as fuel and hold on to those fat stores. Reason number two is that when you are sleep deprived, it's going to increase your appetite. Studies have shown, there's one study that showed participants who were sleep deprived were consuming 300 calories more per day without really realizing it. Going through a normal day, they had the same foods available to them, but they were consuming 300 calories more. Another study showed that they were consuming 600 calories more. So 600 calories more per day, you throw that into the week. Let's say you're trying to aim for a 500 calorie deficit. So a nice, slow and steady 1 pound of weight loss per week. You're eating in 600 calories more than what you're thinking because you are sleep deprived. You wiped out your deficit and now you're actually in a gentle surplus. So you're gonna make it harder on yourself to lose weight. Depriving yourself of at least 7 hours of sleep is also going to have a negative impact on your gut health, which is highly tied into your overall immune health. So your immune system is going to be compromised if you're not getting an adequate amount of sleep. One of the fascinating things in here, they were talking about if you're gonna get, like right now, we're getting vaccinations out there. If you're going to get a vaccination or even the flu shot and you are sleep deprived, it's going to be less effective. So they recommend that if you are going to get a vaccination, to make sure that you get it only after getting a quality night's sleep, making sure that you get at least 7 hours, preferably 8 hours of good quality sleep before getting a vaccination. Depriving yourself of 7 hours of quality sleep each and every night is going to increase your risk of getting cancer, heart attacks, and what really blew my mind was the impact on your memory, and especially when it comes to diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. When you're in deep sleep, your body's kind of sorting through all the memories that you have from your day, and when you get into that deep, that REM sleep, the kind of dream state, that's when you solidify those memories. You make them permanent. And here's the thing, when you're not getting an adequate amount of sleep, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to store those memories, especially if you're robbing yourself of that really deep sleep, that REM sleep where you're storing those memories. It's going to impact your overall memory in general. And here's where it gets fascinating with Alzheimer's disease. When we are awake throughout the day, we get toxins kind of deposited in the part of our brain that is responsible for memory. So when we are sleeping, it will remove those toxins. If you're not getting an adequate amount of sleep, you're not giving your body the opportunity to remove those toxins from that part of your brain that is responsible for memory. And so those toxins will stay there and they will build up over time. And those are the toxins that have been linked to Alzheimer's disease. The double whammy here is that those toxins that are building up in that place, not only are they linked to Alzheimer's disease and memory loss, but they also impact your sleep. They make it tougher for you to fall asleep and get into a deep sleep. So if you have a relative or anyone in your life has been touched by who has had Alzheimer's disease or dementia, you probably notice that, especially when they're in the later stages of dementia, they hardly sleep at all. A lot of times it's because not a lot of times, it's because of those toxin deposits in that part of the brain that make it, not only has it not allowed them to store their memories, but it's also making it difficult for them to fall asleep and especially get that deep sleep. So it's a double-edged sort of double whammy. When you're not getting enough sleep, you're not allowing yourself to store those memories, and you're getting those deposits in there that are also going to could possibly contribute to Alzheimer's down the road, and also impact your sleep right now. So the less sleep you're getting, the more likely you are to get less sleep down the road, which is probably why you hear a lot of people as we're aging saying that we feel like we need less and less sleep. You're not able to sleep that much. Just because you're not sleeping that much and you can kind of get by throughout your day doesn't mean that you're getting an adequate amount of sleep. Just because you can function throughout your day on 6 hours of sleep doesn't mean that you are able to perform your best. That's the big reasons I have really drilled home the importance of getting sleep is, again, testosterone health, your hormone health, your energy, your performance in the gym. If you are sleep deprived, you are not going to perform the same in the gym compared to after getting a full night's of rest. Probably one of the scariest aspects of this book, Why We Sleep, what really opened my eyes was when it came to driver's fatigue, and showing that just 10 days of getting only 6 hours of sleep per night, how much it impairs your driving. You hear like a lot of us will say, I feel fine, I'm normal, but your risk of getting into an accident are much greater. And they're showing like if you're staying up for 19 hours, you got up early, you're drive out of town, meet up with friends, and you go to drive home, you've been up for 19 hours, it's like you are legally drunk. They did studies where they showed people, they had got people drunk and they sleep deprived people, and the people who were sleep deprived were just as poor at responding to their situations, their surroundings, as the people who are drunk. Now you combine it, think of it, you're out for a late night, you've been up all day, and you add a drink into there, you are basically impairing yourself more and more. Really talking about how if you're not getting a sufficient amount of quality sleep each and every night, you end up having these micro sleeps. You don't even realize you fall asleep at a wheel. But even if you're 3 seconds where you're not aware of your surroundings, you could drift off into the other lane. So really, really scary when it came to driver's fatigue. But again, it was all these studies, these people were saying they feel fine. Again, they can get by on just 6 hours of sleep a night. It's what they've been used to. They're getting through it, but you're not performing at your best. This book is basically loaded with studies. Every topic they're covering has multiple studies that he goes into detail with. Many of the studies he conducted himself. Really fascinating when it comes to problem solving, the impact that it has on your personal productivity, the impact that it'll have on the business that you are working for. So even if you think you can get by with less than 7 hours of sleep per night, you are, again, like I said, not functioning at your best in all aspects of your life. Another very important topic addressed in this book is depression and anxiety, and the impact that getting an inadequate amount of sleep can have on depression and anxiety, and then how the benefits of getting an adequate amount of sleep can have on preventing or at least helping you manage depression and anxiety better. When you are in that deep REM sleep, that dream-like state, that is the only time during a 24-hour period where your body is devoid of an anxiety kind of promoting molecule. So it's the only time you're basically anxiety-free throughout the day. So really giving your body that, I talk about stress management, managing your stress throughout the day often, and how sleep can help manage your stress. This is the big reason, and the only way that you can really maximize the benefits of sleep when it comes to stress management is making sure that you're getting an adequate amount of sleep that really allows you to get into that deep REM dream-like sleep. So just a handful of the benefits of getting an adequate amount of sleep for us men over 40. going to increase your testosterone levels, keep them at a good, healthy level. It's going to help you manage stress. It's going to help you manage your appetite, which is going to help you get shredded after 40, build muscle, get jacked after 40. It's going to improve your memory, your problem solving. It's going to improve your focus, your clarity. It's going to reduce your risks of getting in an accident when you're out on the road. At least you're not going to be the one who's veering off and going through a little micro sleep there. It's going to reduce your risks of disease, cancer, heart attack, Alzheimer's, dementia. There's so many different other things that they covered in there. It's going to help you kind of reduce the risks of feeling depressed, feeling anxious. So it's going to help you manage your stress and all those things in between. So I highly, highly recommend that you make sleep a top priority. Now let's get to some tips on how you can improve your sleep. As I've mentioned in many of my previous videos, it's incredibly important for you to establish a consistent sleep-wake time. That includes weekdays and weekends. So making sure that you're getting at least that 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each and every night, 7 days a week. And to help you establish that consistent sleep-wake time is to have a bedtime routine that you go through each and every day. For myself, after dinner, I get out for a walk with Chief, come home, I'll do a little self-massage, I'll read a book. If it's nice outside summertime, I'll read that book outdoors while watching the sunset. And then I'll come in and I'll listen to a meditation audio that allows me to let go of my thoughts for the day and relax into a deep sleep. So typically, like after dinner, I will, so at least like 2.5, maybe even 3 hours before dinner time, I like no electronics, no television, no computer. I don't want to get on social media and get my mind rolling with a whole bunch of stuff that's going on in the world or anybody else. I just want to calm my mind, calm my body, and really prepare myself for a good night's sleep. Now, if you do happen to go on your phone or on your computer like an hour or two before bedtime, I highly recommend that you use the settings. Like a lot of your phones and your computers, your laptops will come with a setting that allows you to, your computer will shift to more yellow light instead of the blue light as the day goes on during the evening time. It's that blue light that it stimulates you and makes you feel like it's daytime, and that's going to it's going to stop the release of melatonin into your bloodstream, which is going to signal your body to, hey, it's bedtime, it's time to sleep. So if you're on a screen, you're really going to want to make sure you're either using those blue blocker glasses or use those settings on your computer and phone to change it from blue light to yellow light as the day goes on. I have mine set for after 5 p.m. it starts shifting more towards that yellow light, just to kind of prepare my body, let my body know that it's naturally the day is coming to an end and it's going to be winding down to bedtime very soon. And I'm going to release that melatonin in my bloodstream, which is going to signal my body to really calm down and get ready for a good night's sleep. Another things that help you fall asleep is temperature, the room temperature and your body temperature. As your body temperature cools, that's a signal that it is time for you to sleep as well. So one thing that can help your body temperature cool is maybe taking a hot bath before bed. When you get out of that bathtub, the heat is going to release from your body. It's going to cool the core temperature of your body. And it really helps to have your room temperature set at around 65 degrees, so nice and cool. And it helps to have like the least amount of clothing that you can possibly have on, so you're not getting too hot. So it's nice to be under the warm covers and everything, but if your body temperature is hot, it's going to kind of prevent you from having a really good, restful, deep sleep. So temperature is everything. The lighting in the room, so really making sure, we talked about the light on your computer and everything, make sure it is as dark as possible in your room as well. If it's not dark in there, it's okay. Wear a face mask, and actually something that I'm looking into as well is some earplugs. I'd rather have like an ear muff thing to kind of block out noises that may wake you up in the middle of the night. For a lot of us men over 40, getting up in the middle of the night to pee is a common issue. So one thing that I've been doing to kind of prevent that from happening is tapering off my water intake as the day goes on, especially through the afternoon into the evening. Things that you should avoid to get a great night's sleep is caffeine in the afternoon and evening. Try to avoid that. Try to keep caffeine to just in the early morning if you need that to perk yourself up. It can stay in your system a lot longer than you think, and it can have a negative impact on your sleep later in the day. Another thing to avoid is alcohol. I know a lot of people at the end of the workday use alcohol to kind of decompress from the day, kind of relieves their stress, and some people find that having a drink before bed helps them fall asleep, and it may help you fall asleep, but it robs you of the REM sleep. When you're drinking alcohol, you're not going to experience the REM sleep that you need, that we've talked about earlier, the importance of how it's going to impact your memory, how it's going to impact your stress management, and so much more. So I would highly, highly recommend that you avoid alcohol near bedtime, and really just drink alcohol in moderation in general. I know some people also use marijuana recreationally to help them sleep as well, and once again, it's going to may help you fall asleep, but again, it's going to rob you of that REM sleep, which is so critically important for your overall health and well-being. And although exercise, working out is great for helping improve your sleep, if you work out too close to your bedtime, it can make it tougher for you to fall asleep and get into that deep sleep, maybe because you've raised the temperature of your body. So it's going to be longer before your core temperature lowers and the melatonin is released to really help you fall asleep. So try to work out at least 2 to 3 hours before your bedtime. So your workout should end at least 2 hours before you're going to bed. Once again, I am just scratching the surface here with this book, Why We Sleep. I highly recommend you read it yourself. It is incredibly in-depth. You'll be blown away with the details, with the research, with the studies that they did to show just how important sleep is for not just us men over 40, but for everyone in general. You read this, I guarantee you will not look at sleep again. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and smash that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, do me a favor and share it with them. More than anything, I would love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights. Let me know how much you're sleeping each and every night, how it's impacted your performance, your overall well-being. If you think you can get by with less than 7 hours of sleep, would love to hear from you down there. Or if you're someone like me who really prides himself on getting a minimum of 7 hours sleep, and oftentimes around that 8.5 hours sleep per night. Would love to hear from you down in the comment section below. And before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Have yourself an amazing day. Catch you in the next video.